So welcome to Ketchikan, Alaska News. Today we're going to be talking with Tessa Midicucci about an upcoming research project. You see this vessel in the photo. She's going to be on this vessel for the next 4 weeks doing a midwater trawls in the Gulf of Alaska, trying to figure out what happens with our salmon when they're out on their migratory path. So here we go. Let's talk to Tessa regarding her upcoming work. So I'm here today with Tessa Midicucci, and she's going to talk about an interesting research project she's going to be involved with. Tell us, well, first of all, who do you work for, Tessa?
So I am the research biologist at the hatchery here in Ketchikan, SSRAA, or Southern Southeast Regional Aquaculture Association.
And tell us about this research project you're going out on for the next month or so.
Yeah, so I'll be participating in a 25-day research cruise out in the Gulf of Alaska, trying to study basically what's going on in the winter with salmon. It's kind of a black box of what's happening out there. Most of the research was done in the 80s, and there hasn't been a lot of opportunities to study it since then. So 2019 they did a survey. It's called the International Year of the Salmon. It was funded by the North Pacific Anadromous Fish Commission, which is the governing body of basically the Pacific Rim countries: Japan, Korea, Russia, the US, and Canada. And then this year they were able to secure funding again. It's a pretty expensive study to be able to go out into the high seas with a full crew of scientists and crew for the boat too. And this funding this year is from, I believe, a bunch of independent agencies, but Alaska Seafood Processors are one of the major contributors to this year's funding.
So this is a large dragger, commercial style dragger, a research vessel of some sort?
Yeah, it's not a research vessel. It's it's called the Pacific Legacy #1. It's a Canadian commercial trawler. And so it's not a bottom trawler, don't want to get confused there. So we'll be doing midwater trawls, and we'll be pulling a net. It's about 120 meters, I believe, and it'll be about 100 feet down in the water. So we have set transects out in the Gulf. We have more of a northern region, which is kind of from maybe Sitka north, and then the southern region, which is Sitka south over to Vancouver area. And so we have set survey stations that we try and hit 3 times, and we do a 1-hour trawl at each station.
Tell us a little bit what you'll be doing as the boat's sampling. Will you actually be handling samples out of the trawl net? Will you be recording data, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so my understanding is that there will be a full crew on the boat that'll be taking care of the net and whatnot, because it is a commercial trawler and those nets can be pretty intense. So my understanding is that once the net comes in, there's a team of 12 scientists. There'll be 3 Americans, including myself, and then the rest are from Canada and Russia. And so we'll be analyzing all of the things we catch, whether it's salmon or just small feeder fish. There might be some sharks in there, jellyfish, but everything we collect, we will be analyzing.
So there's a lab on board that you actually will handle the samples with and do some?
Again, I'm not exactly sure. I know we'll be taking scales and otoliths, which are the ear bones, and I believe there is some very basic DNA processing that'll happen on board. But for every salmon collected, they have an ID. We take genetics off of them. We take all the samples that we can take right away, we will, and then we'll freeze everything and bring it back to the lab for later analysis.
Wow, well, this is really fascinating. I hope to do another follow-up on this. You've never spent any time in the Gulf, I understand?
I have not, no. This is my first time in the Gulf of Alaska, yep.
Well, good luck to you, and I really hope you aren't too miserable, because it can be miserable out there. So thanks for talking to us, Tessa, and we'll follow up with you after you come back.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
Thank you. Hey, thanks for watching Ketchikan, Alaska News. This is a little hobby effort of mine to try and bring one daily story to people here in Ketchikan or past members of the community, people who love and like Ketchikan. I try to do just political stories or stories of interest, sports, and so forth. If you have any ideas or suggestions, you can email me at ketchikanalaskanews@gmail.com. You can also contribute. It takes a little bit of money running around doing this kind of thing. So there's a donate button on the opening page of the YouTube channel. It helps if you subscribe, like, comment, share all these videos that are free to do that. So please do that. Any other comments or suggestions, just give me an email or give me a call. Thanks again for watching Catch Can Alaska News. Don't you love that snow?